little bit of introduction about myself, trained in medicine and electrical engineering. So some of the presentations that you will see is a combination of engineering and medicine. So 15 years ago, I started a Society for Brain Mapping and Therapeutics out of my fellowship and at USC and Caltech and JPL. So we started with a group of about 10 scientists of different background, molecular biologists, stem cell scientists, neurosurgeons, and engineers. So it grew to become a medical association, and you will see what we have done in a few minutes. But we have started a series of initiatives. We were behind Obama's Brain Initiative. I was one of the advisors to Obama for Brain Initiative, and we started the World G20 World Brain Mapping Initiative with the G20 Summit. We are starting to collaborate with the World Economical Forum, and we have also started what's called Brain Technology and Innovation Park. That's an initiative with the Mayor of Los Angeles and California Governor, so we are starting basically bringing partnership between scientists of different background, including yourselves, and also with the hedge funds and investment groups to be able to take actually ideas to market. So with that, I also need to disclose that I started 2 biotech companies, and it came out of this kind of brain technology, and I will touch upon those. There are certain learning objectives. The list is long, but it's fun. So I'm going to go over some of the history of what we have done in terms of the foundation and the G20 initiative and Brain Technology Innovation Park, but also give you some examples of basically how we have brought together scientists of different background, but then how we actually start shaping policy and introducing new clinical trials in the field of clinical neuroscience. So the mission of our organization, basically the Society for Brain Mapping and Therapeutics, is really improving the diagnostics and rehabilitation of patients afflicted with neurological disorders. Many of them you deal with them, but our approach, as mentioned in the video, but also you see on the slide, is really multidisciplinary. That's why I'm talking to you, because groups like you were not probably in the past welcome in the more of a clinical neurosurgery or neurology, but more and more we realize that eye is a window to the brain. And I'll show you some slides, but you are the kind of a front line for diagnosis of the, basically diagnosing of future neurological disorders. So we have our annual convention. You saw from the video. We have been all over the world, Sydney, Australia, and Toronto, France, and so on. But we are actually staying in Los Angeles for the next 4 years because we are going to actually expand our convention. On one side, we're going to have World Congress for Brain Mapping. On the other side, we are in partnership with the City of Los Angeles and going to start what's called World Brain Expo. So for general public, so they can actually learn from the scientists, but also come be inspired. Out of our conventions, many publications came out. So these are 2 textbooks, inaugural textbooks, one in nanoneurosurgery, the other one in neurophotonics and brain mapping. Dr. Deborah Zelinsky has a beautiful chapter in that second book, Neurophotonics and Brain Mapping, talking about neuromodulation through retina, basically retinal neuromodulation. And that's a really new concept in brain mapping and therapeutics. And you see President Obama's signature, and because I basically give him a copy of that textbook, and then he sent me a nice thanks letter. So we have had several publications with different groups, with SPIE, Society for Photonics. We have a special issue, and Neuro-Image, and Plus One. I was the managing editor. So in terms of policy, as I said, when I started the organization, I never thought about kind of getting involved with the congressional leaders and kind of getting involved in policy, writing a legislation and so on. I mean, I'm not an attorney. I'm not really trained in that. But, somehow I got involved, and that somehow started from actually through an introduction of a friend to Congressman Steny Hoyer, and Steny Hoyer needed a neuroscientist to write the legislation for traumatic brain injury for U.S. military, and this is 2010, before Obama's brain initiative.